Hey, welcome to Blending Like Bosses. We're the Traylors.
Blended families don't come with instructions, but we can help you make a plan so you can blend like bosses too. Welcome to Blending Like Bosses. We're Scott and Michelle Traylor, and we are a blended family of 8.
Wow. And the reason we did this show is because we felt that blended families really needed a resource. Blended families come from pulling 2 families together, and it comes from a place that is really tough. There's been a lot of loss, a lot of hurt, and it doesn't just happen overnight, and it doesn't just happen. You need a plan, and you need to work at it in order to be able to blend like bosses.
Yes, and we believe that there is hope.
There's absolute hope.
Whatever your blending situation, whether you have kids all the time, whether you have kids in and out of your home, there is hope, and we believe that God has given us hope in our families.
Right.
So like any good love story begins, I thought it would be appropriate to share with you how we met.
Yes.
How did we meet in this crazy, crazy world with all these kids and all this nonsense, as you will see in weeks to come? Well, truth be told, we met on Match.com.
We did.
Not sponsored.
Right.
But I hopped online after going through something with a friend who lost her husband, and just realizing that after coming out of a divorce and a really, really toxic, difficult situation, that I do deserve love, and I did deserve love, and that I was finally willing to try it again. And so I hopped on there thinking it was a different site, so that in itself was kind of a weird coincidence. And lo and behold, guess who was on there?
Yeah, and I had no plans really to be on there until a friend of mine kind of strong-armed me to put a profile on there. And then once I got into it, posted some pictures. And come to find out, when we kind of saw each other online, she was the one that reached out to me.
Okay, why do we have to make that a point?
It's important. And but what was really interesting is that all of a sudden there were all these connectors that we didn't even realize. We actually went to the same school in Virginia. We live in Buffalo, New York now. And we're at the same place in Virginia for a year or two, didn't even know it. And then crazier things happened around how people we knew. I knew somebody that's in her family now by marriage, and all kinds of crazy stuff. So absolutely a God thing.
So then that proved to me that I wasn't being catfished. So that helped me, let my guard down. Because there's some weird stuff, that happens online. But it was cool how very soon, we had all those confirmations.
Right, for sure.
It was meant to be.
It was.
Okay, so I thought we would introduce our kids next to you. So you might not be able to keep track of them all. That's okay, we can't either. So just call out a name, see who comes to dinner. If I bake cookies, they smell it, they come. Doesn't matter. Whatever your name is,
right.
Come on in.
That's right.
All right, so let's start with the oldest, Channing.
Youngest, Channing.
So you have 4 biological kids.
Right, I have 4 boys that are biological to me.
Okay, I have 2 biological kids and the only girl in the family. 5
boys, 1 girl.
Yeah.
She's gonna be well protected when she gets to dating age. So we're gonna make sure of it.
That's good.
So Channing, he's 19. He is 1 year out of high school. He is a Type A personality, hard worker, high level of energy. Likes doing online videos, things like that. So he's our oldest.
And then Brayden.
Breeden, he's 17, senior in high school, and is super chill dude. He doesn't want to be stressed out. He is he loves to write and produce hip hop music, and his version of that is kind of the chill, kind of smooth beat to it. So cool dude. Yeah, his stage name is Betrayal. If you want to look that up, because it's B for Brayden and then Trail for Traylor. Right. And I will say he's a very loyal one in our pack. Yes. He really is.
he will be your friend till the end.
Right.
Next we have Silas. He's 12, and he's in 7th grade. And he's kind of our logical, literal one. He's very intelligent. Not that they're all not intelligent, but he has an affinity towards the maths and the sciences. Very compassionate heart. Mm-hmm. Loves gaming. I mean, what middle school boy doesn't love video games?
Right.
Then we have Grayson.
Grayson, he's in 5th grade, is 11, and he is very witty and loves to draw. He's kind of known in his grade for doing good drawings, and very principled. When he thinks he's right, he is willing to go to the death to make sure that he's right, even though he might not be right.
That's a whole separate thing. We'll get to that down the
Yes.
road. Next is Sophia. She's also 11. So they are, how many days apart? 2 weeks apart.
2 weeks apart.
They know the days, probably the hours, who's older and all of that. But Sophia is kind of our eternal optimist. I used to joke because she would do cartwheels into the room and out of the room, like when we first moved here. But she is pretty much everyone's best friend.
Right.
Is always talking about her best friends in school and loves singing and dancing.
Yes.
She's actually pretty talented at singing. I'm not gonna lie. I have a musical background, and I think she is.
Yeah.
She can pick it up like that.
Oh, right. She memorizes a song like that.
So good with words. And then Jackson.
He's the youngest one of the group. He's 9. He is in 4th grade. He gets the benefit of seeing everybody above him go through all their stuff.
Yeah.
So he tends to be the one that is the most steady, and just always has a good attitude. He just very rarely ever has a bad day. And when he's had a bad day, there's something wrong, right? But then he loves sports. He wants to play football this fall. He kind of has a build for it, so he's looking forward to that. Super excited. Keeps practicing whenever he has a chance. A little hard right now because we have a lot of snow outside.
We do. Yeah. And those are the Traylors.
Yeah.
Those are the Stockton Traylors, and so we're so proud of all these kids.
Yeah.
They're good. They're really good.
Yeah.
So what do we do? Let's tell them about what we're up to for our careers and our jobs, because we don't sit around making videos.
Right. Hopefully one day, maybe that would be great. I'm a manager at an online college. I've been doing that here at this existing place for about 14 years. I've been in higher ed for almost about 20 years. I love what I do. Never thought I'd be living in Buffalo. I thought I'd be a youth pastor somewhere, but I get to pastor about 240 employees now that I'm responsible for. So different way of doing it, but certainly wouldn't change it, and love what I do.
Yeah, but you do get to use your youth ministry degree.
Absolutely.
At church.
Oh, yeah. I guess.
He's one of my best volunteers.
She's my boss. I and another friend of ours leads our middle school ministry on Sunday mornings. So I do get to use that. It's more recent, and I'm having a really fun time doing that.
Yes, I married a middle schooler in a grown body. So I am in vocational ministry, so I'm part-time, and I've had a lot of different roles over the years, but I've been at Renovation Church for over a decade. Is it coming up on 11 and a half?
Yeah, I think
somewhere around 11-ish years. Was in education and some other church ministry before that. I know I don't look that old. I always, make sure to clarify that with
22.
people. I don't look like I could have 2 lifetimes, But right now, I am overseeing our family ministry and get to deal with a lot of kids and adults, and oh my gosh, just really encourage and help families and help them to know and love Jesus, and it's awesome. And that's how we get to work together on Sundays.
Yeah, it's great.
A little bit of a capacity there. So, how do we manage all of this busy stuff? Because we don't just go to work and then the kids just raise themselves.
Right.
Because that would be too easy.
Right.
But if you figured out a way,
let us
call
know.
us. Have your people call our people.
Right.
So let's unpack kind of what a typical week looks like of kind of how our family landscape is right now.
Yeah. I was going to start with Monday, because that's kind of the easiest way for me to do it.
Okay.
But I guess first of all, our kids go to public school, so I work Monday through Friday. I'm gone probably about 7 in the morning, 7:30 until 5:30 in the afternoon, and then the kids are leaving the house around anywhere from 6:45 in the morning.
Well, we hope they leave. We hope they make the bus.
Right. We almost had an issue with that the other day, but anyways. They're leaving sometime between 6:45, 8 o'clock, and they're back home around, I don't know, 3, 4 o'clock, depending on who's getting off the bus and when.
And then after school, we have a kind of a homework routine, and they get to have, some free time after they work on their homework. We really, really try hard to eat dinner together.
Right.
Every night that's possible.
It's important though, that homework piece, they do that the first thing they walk in. They can have a snack when they're doing that, but they can't do anything else until that homework is done.
Correct.
And did not do that with my older kids. Wish I did. So tip for those of you that got the younger ones.
Tip of the
Stay
day.
on top of that.
Okay, and after dinner they have a little bit of free time, and I don't know, go to bed around 8, 9 o'clock.
Right.
We try to pretty much keep a routine, but we've got some other things happening different days of the week, so we try to.
Yeah, when we can, we try the bedtime routines. We try to get them talking a little bit about their day. Do a quick little prayer time.
If we're feeling,
Yeah.
extra, we might throw out a question.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes this guys just get up in bed. It's time to go to bed.
Close your eyes.
Yeah.
Go to sleep.
Right.
All right. Evening activities right now in this season, because we don't always do like sports. We try so hard not to be out every single night of the week. It's just too much.
Right. So we have the kids can select to do one sport a year. And so good example is that Jackson decided not to do lacrosse, so he could do football. He really wanted to do football. And right now we've had Grayson and Sophia out on Monday nights. And so we get home, we eat real quick, and then you and I are going 2 separate ways for an hour and a half and then coming back. So,
Silas, we talked about how he's more into like maths and sciences and gaming and all that. So he's tried his hand at a couple sports, but he's not super into that. When he does do sports, it's more individual sports and individual competition. He's very intrinsically motivated in that way. But like his deal right now is he's in, besides the middle school environment at our church,
right.
He's in another youth group. So we're saying, okay, if you're not going to do sport, you still need that community. So.
Right.
And then that's another night this week. But that's kind of where we're capping it right now.
Right.
And then we'll have time where in the fall, somebody else will take a turn. Jackson will take a turn and do that. Because it's too much, guys.
Yeah.
It can't be.
You gotta put. Yeah.
You can't be doing all the things
right.
all the time. So then Saturday mornings are kind of our days to kind of get stuff done around the house.
Right. So they have chores they got to do, and there's a little allowance. And we've actually been really good with doing that every Saturday. We use that money. It's like $5 a week, $6 a week, depending on how old they are. And they use that if we're out somewhere, to buy a snack. If they want to buy something on a video game, either on an Apple device or on a gaming system. They use all that stuff. Or go to Target, they want something, they got to save their money up.
Yeah. It's good. It helps them like have a little bit of currency in there.
Right.
Sometimes we do bribe and snacks, and I'm not gonna deny that. I made up these snack passes, and sometimes I hand them out for free, and they can have an extra snack if they did an extra job.
Right.
Maybe sometime we'll talk about how we do those chores.
Right.
Because I try to keep it motivated for them. And sometimes they just want the money, let's be honest. Right. So they say the night before, I'm doing chores tomorrow. Or when we came back from a recent vacation, Grayson was like, I'm doing chores tomorrow. We're like, oh my gosh, we're just getting back. No, you're not. You're not doing chores tomorrow. But he wanted that money so bad that he was like going to force chores upon us.
That's right.
See? He's so principled.
Right, he was principled.
And then anything else from Sunday? Our groceries. That's our big day
Saturday, yes.
to get groceries and to fill up the cupboards and all that.
And the kids help with that. They help get the groceries in the house, get them unbagged, and then the two of us usually put them away because we want them in the right places and everything.
Yeah.
We have our hiding spots for some of the stuff until it's time for later in the week.
And last time I let Silas do the pantry, we had like stacks and towers of things built in the pantry.
Right.
Yeah, he was like engineering my pantry. And then, I don't know. You're right though. I'm like, even if you do it sometimes, you put it away, which is so helpful. I'm so thankful. Sometimes I'll be going to do one of my recipes and I'm like, where's I swear I bought the whatever. Yeah.
It's all about efficiency.
All right, and then Sundays, our Sabbath, right? And so we go to church, and I'm kind of in my world helping with our volunteers and our kids and our middle school, and Other things happening for the day or events at church, and you're doing
I'm doing the middle school ministry. Yeah.
And then
we get home, get some lunch, and then it's really just relax and try to rest for the remainder of the day so we can get ready for the beginning of the week.
Yeah. We didn't really talk about how we spend time together, though, during the week.
Well, let's see here. We try to have a date night at least once a week. Sometimes, depending on how the budget's going and timing, it might be every other week. But what we did this year for Christmas is we got each other a movie pass to where we go watch unlimited movies. So we love going to the movies, getting some popcorn, and that kind of thing. So that's a quick, easy one. We actually did that last night.
We did. That was really fun.
Yeah, and the kids are old enough now where there's always a teenager home. We don't have to worry about trying to get babysitters and all that kind of stuff. So that's a big, big help.
Yep. Sure is. And what I love is how we carve out time sometimes during the middle of the day. So because I work part-time, sometimes during the day I can come meet you for lunch or something.
Yeah.
See, that's part of our budget secret too. So maybe we'll have to talk about that later on. But we don't take these kids out to eat, okay? Like if we want to have some special time, we'll go.
Right.
But then...
Yeah, it's expensive taking everybody out.
It is.
We might do it once every 2 months or something. Or at the last minute, we're coming home from church and we're like, you know what? Do you feel like cooking? No, I don't feel like doing anything.
But even that, sometimes we're like there. If we go to like a drive-thru, like, okay, you can pick 2 items. We can really like narrow it for them.
Right, exactly.
Maybe ordering all sorts of stuff. So that's a little bit about us. We're really thankful for you to be tuning in today and for hanging out with us here on Blending Like Bosses. So however you find your family dynamic and family situation, we think this stuff is going to be helpful. Yeah. There are things about our lives that we wish people would have told us, so we're just hoping to be able to pass that on to all of you.
Yeah, and I think, Michelle and I have grown and met, just gone through what we've gone through. We recognize that the precursor to blending is a really, really tough time frame. It's heartbreaking. It's something that you never thought you'd go through.
Yeah.
And there really is hope when you're in the middle of that. And so I hope if you're watching this and you're not blending like bosses yet because you haven't gotten there yet, there's hope in that God has a plan. But you have to do the work now. That was the one thing we were talking about last night is if we didn't do the work during the middle of all of that, we wouldn't have been ready for each other.
Right.
And so that's where I'm really thankful for the work that she's done, to be ready to have met me and be the best wife and mom that I've ever, seen. Yeah. So.
Well, I think the same about you.
Well, thank you.
And it's a different story coming to the table, sitting across from someone, meeting them, getting to them, courting, dating, all of that, who's put in just as much work as you have.
Right.
And I just think that God rewards that.
Right.
And that's one way that you can steward your pain is to really work through that. Because here's the deal. At the end of the day, we are shepherding these kids through very similar emotions that we've had to go through,
right.
like through pain. And so, yeah, we're talking about details and like what our life looks like, and it's crazy and it's busy and it's fun. But what you don't see is all of the shepherding and the disciplining and the nurturing and the correcting, that goes into that and helping to get at those heart attitudes and making sure that that we're helping them work through.
Right. So the episode today really is about kind of, introducing us to you. And as we go through these next several episodes, all the things that we've learned along the way, and how we can be better parents through this, better spouses. I mean, all of it. So it is so neat and so important. And as we were looking at resources, we just didn't find a lot out there. So that's why I'm really excited about this opportunity.
So stick with us over the next several weeks. Blended families don't come with instructions. So we hope you'll stay connected with us, stay within our community, connect with us online. We'd love to help you make a plan so you can blend like bosses too.
Thank you so much for tuning in today to Blending Like Bosses. Now for today's big idea. In order for this to work, you have to be all in.
Yeah.
This doesn't just happen. It's not going to just be because you guys are now married, everything's going to work. It's not how it works. You have to put the work in, and because God really does have a plan for you, and He has a plan for our hope, and for a future.
Yeah.
And as part of that, I'd like to read just Jeremiah 29:11, which says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future."
Amen. That's so good. And I think of the verses leading up to that because Babylon had just invaded Jerusalem. They took the Jews out and were in exile. So they were not in an ideal situation, right? So many of you are not in an ideal situation. It's not captivity. Although you might wake up one morning being like, how did I sign up for this? How did this happen again? But I just think that there's some interesting points leading up to that where Jeremiah says those things about God's thoughts towards us. So it was all part of God's plan for them to be there, and not just be there, but to thrive there. So the preceding scriptures talk about how he wants them to plant and have gardens and marry and buy houses. These are all my paraphrasing here. But to really settle down in it. Not just to survive it, but to be there and to thrive in it. And I think that's important to note when you're talking about this big idea of being all in. It's not just, okay, well, we're going to get to the next season of life, or we're just going to fake it till we make it. Like, we have to be committed to being all in, or it's not going to work. And knowing that God has a plan, and he will multiply our efforts when we are committed to really being all in.
Right.
Stay encouraged today.
Yes, you can do this. Once upon a time, during our first family vacation after Michelle and I got married, we took a whole group to a lake house. And at that lake house, we had the benefit of having an indoor pool. After a long day of traveling, Michelle and I retired to our room to find ourselves woken up in the middle of the night, around 2 o'clock in the morning. Bang, bang, bang! We run to the door, what's going on? So the first thing I thought in my head was, oh no, we have a pool, somebody got hurt, somebody's like drowning or something, right? Nope. Brayden comes running into our room. Dad, we got a problem. Dad, we got a problem. You got to come right now. So we get up. I'm like, throw some clothes on, run outside. And the video that you're about to see will tell the rest of the story.
Stop. I can't get out.
Your butt is not that big.
Bro, but my thighs are. Oh my gosh, she's stuck. I literally can't get out of here, dude. My huh? That's how, dude, I tried to jump in and it got stuck.
What are you gonna rescue your boy?
Bro,
I told you shouldn't have gotten
dude,
this help.
we need to
They
follow
weren't
all
gonna do
this.
anything.
Okay, put your arms up and try to get it out over your head.
I tried to get it through it in the water. I tried to jump.
Hey, Chan, what's your predicament?
Dude, get out of here, bro. Come on.
He's got him stuck in a tube.
He's stuck in a tube.
I need a knife.
Wait, are you Insta Live?
I need a knife.
I'm about to be.
We got some kitchen scissors.
Dude, I'm actually stuck.
Okay,
Here, lift your
did you
arms up.
need to get wet so that it slides off.
to be wet.
We can
It needs to
dislocate
be
your
wet
shoulder.
so that it slides off.
Dislocate your
Hold on.
Yo. This dude is actually stuck in a tube.
No, you're not. This is trying to push it down.
Come on, get wet down there. Now try to get it off.
How'd you get it on?
Okay,
This dude is stuck in a tube.
push.
Bro, push it hard, bro.
Dude, it's like I'm having a kid, bro. You guys are having like no more. You guys are just watching. I need to. I already tried
You
doing it
can
with my
get it
pants
on.
off. so
It's
that's
no
not
worse than getting a ring stuck on your
I
finger.
think you need to go this way.
Yeah, you totally need to go
I
up.
can't.
Oh, I would go this.
No. Put your arms straight in
That's
there.
how I try to get through it.
Don't let your dad get it off.
We try.
If I tell you to stop, stop.
Okay, once again.
Come on. Oh!
Wasn't that funny? Oh man, that was a great time.
Oh, hey Dad.
Hey, Chan.
What's up, dude?
Not too much. I was just telling a funny story.
What's that?
Do you remember the time that you got stuck in a tube?
Oh, yes, of course I do. When life gives you a tube, don't jump through it.
My man thought he could jump through the tube.
I'm skinny, you know.
Right.
I thought it would work, but these thighs, man, they're just
The thighs.
these thighs are just succulent, man.
Oh gosh. Well, that is Channing, and we introduced you to him earlier. Blending is a lot of work, but it can be so much fun, as you saw here. But this show will not support itself. We need you to partner with us in order to keep it going. And the way you can do that is you can go to blendinglikeBosses.com and you can get a shirt such as this, the Mom No 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 shirt, or we have things like this, which is Raising Legends. You can also raise a legend like this guy, because that's what we're doing. We want to raise legends so that they take on the future of our families.